My story kind of started, I was at a movie with my friend and I realized that she wasn't the same, and so I asked her, what's happening, and she told me, that she wanted to kill herself, and she just kind of hinted it, but I decided, from that moment I was going to help her and I was going to make sure that she didn't do anything to hurt herself. And so my life kind of started revolving around her, and I started ignoring my family and just getting at a really low place. And then we started talking, and she also told me that her family was getting abused, but she made sure that she's like, don't tell anyone. So it was kind of just a secret between, me and her. She had her good days and her bad days, but I kind of told myself, if she was going to kill herself, then I'm going to have to do it too. Because I couldn't stand, my friend killing herself, I couldn't do that. So I was at youth group and I noticed my friends, and I knew that they were cutting themselves to cope with the pain they were dealing with. So I'm like, if that's working for them, then why don't I try it? So I just picked up the knife and I started cutting. The cutting continued, and I kept doing that, and I got to a really low place in my life. I was just so depressed, and I didn't know if I wanted to live anymore, and it's kind of just rolling down in effect. And then high school came, and it was freshman year, and I saw my friends, they started getting involved with the wrong people, and they were doing drugs and smoking and drinking and everything. So I decided to start drinking with them, and I just got to a place where I wasn't happy, and I realized I don't want to live my life like this. Then it progressed, and I decided that I was going to do drugs, and I never done them before, but there was one weekend and we said it, and I was like, we're going to do it that day. But then my friend, who's a Christian, she came up to me and she's like, we have this thing called Revolve Tour happening this weekend. Do you want to go to that? And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, I could do drugs or I could go to this Christian thing. What do I want to do? And then there's just something inside of me saying, this is the right thing to do. I'm supposed to be at this place. I just couldn't explain the feeling I was feeling, so I decided that I wasn't going to do drugs and I was going to go to this thing called Revolve Tour. And just there, everything they were saying, it just felt like God was speaking to me, and I realized this isn't for me. What I'm doing in my life is not okay, and I want to live my life for something more than myself. I want to live my life to glorify God. And there's the one moment that I actually gave my life to Jesus. I saw Brenda Cole because she was there and she was singing, and she came back, and for some reason she stopped and looked at me and she smiled and she waved to me and said hi. And I just realized in that moment, I saw how happy she was in her eyes, and I'm like, I want that. I want what she has. So in that moment I just said, God, if you're real, I'm going to give my life to you, and I haven't been so good, but I know you have amazing grace, and I'm just going to give everything I have to you. And I can't even explain the feelings I felt weeks after. I just was so filled with the Holy Spirit, and I just realized, there's so much more to life, and I'm not going to live my life depressed and sad and cutting. And I decided that, Jesus was worth it. And since that day I gave my life to God, I haven't cut in forever, and just everything stopped. All my friends shifted, and everything in my life kind of fit, and now I was happy, and there's something I couldn't experience.